I had to do some research on Kail Lowry. She's my favorite messy baby mama. She's my favorite because she's just such a fucking mess. So anyway, Kail Lowry, if you're not familiar with her and your first time hearing me talk about her, she is from the franchise Teen Mom. She got on there when she was 16 and pregnant to Joe, her first baby daddy. And that relationship crumbled right before our eyes on TV. Kail has been known to get physical with her baby daddies. She's gotten physical with Joe. She's gotten physical with Javi. And she's gotten physical with Chris, baby daddy number 3, who actually called the police on her ass as he should. And so Kail just continues to be a mess. So she stayed on the show for I don't know how many years, quite a few years. And her life has just gotten messier and messier. We watched her cheat on her husband with Chris, who had no job and was in college where she met him. And so I guess she thought she hit the jackpot when she got him because Chris isn't bad on the eyes. He was, he is more attractive than the husband she had, Javi, who helped Kel torture and encouraged Kel to torture Joe. And how does she do that? She moved his son to another state. I think they're from Pennsylvania or Jersey. And then Joe followed them down. And then she wanted to try to move his son again to California. And he said no, he blocked it, thank God. He had enough sense to say, look, Gypsy, you're not moving my son all over the world and away from me. It makes no sense. I'm established here. So she, as you can see, she's very impulsive. She doesn't think about other people. And so she didn't think of anybody else when she blew up her marriage to Javi. And so I guess they got bored of torturing and harassing Joe and decided they were going to start cheating on each other. So there was a lot of cheating that went on in that relationship, and so much so that she actually, I believe, when she got pregnant with baby number 3, she was still married, I believe, to Javi, and had to have him sign some paperwork saying that he is not the father of the child because she was still technically married to him. Isn't that trifling? I've seen that before where I was engaged to this guy and his trifling sister. She finessed him into getting her a car. Once she got her car, she packed her shit up and moved back in with her mom and started dating her not high school, college sweetheart, and got pregnant while still married, and then started to try to divorce the husband. And then actually hustled him out of some income tax money. It was just a mess, like some of the shit women do. And I believe if Kale was of a certain persuasion, she would be getting dragged by her edges to be having 7 kids by 4 different men. You heard it right. 7 kids by 4 different men. And so the current guy she's with, his name is Elijah Scott, and he is very much a lot younger than her. Kale is 32 years old. Elijah is only 25. When she met him in 2022, he was only 23 years old. And when she started dating him right away, of course, she never waits. She jumps in the sack right away. And 8 months into dating, she was pregnant with baby number 1. And then she just recently had babies to him 2 and 3 because they were twins. And congratulations on her having the twins. I'm glad that those babies got here safely and that she got here safely because pregnancy, people don't realize how much pregnancy is risky to the woman and the children. So anyway, she's on her podcast and she's talking to her baby daddy number one's wife. And I don't know how she's still working with this woman. She talks so poorly about this woman's husband. It's not even funny. And she was like making fun of the way her ex baby daddy looked and didn't understand. Said how she didn't understand how V, who's her co-host on Baby Mama No Drama, her podcast, could even be attracted to Joe. And I'm like, bitch, don't act like. And Joe has aged horribly and let himself go. He looks older than me. Like they're only 32. I'm 39, and Joe looks older than me, and that's saying a lot. A lot about his lifestyle. His life seems very stressful. So anyway, V keeps herself up. V looks is prettier in my opinion than Kale. Now, both of them without their makeup, they're at the same level, Kale and V. But Kail was very jealous of V, very intimidated because V was younger, V was quote unquote prettier, skinnier, and so when V came in, Kail gave her such a hard time, was insinuating that she was a drug addict because there was a picture of her, taking a hit from a weed bong, and she acted like V should not be around her child, and how dare Joe be with someone like her, as if she was any better, the one who jumps in the sack so quickly, don't even get to know the men. So there ain't no HIV test going on here. So anyway, we're gonna watch a clip of Kail talking about she is she thinks about marrying Elijah, and I'm like, you don't even know him. They've only been together since 2022. We are in 2024. In 2 years, these two have had three babies. In my opinion, the last thing sister girl needs to be worrying about is marrying anybody. She needs to go to therapy. She needs to get therapy to figure out why she continues to have baby after baby to strangers. And not even just that, like to strangers that she doesn't get along with. The baby daddy prior to this, she didn't know him very long before she got pregnant. And then she soon discovered that he wasn't trying to be with her like the way she wanted him to be, and was chasing him and chasing him and chasing him, and would get mad when he wouldn't do what she wanted him. When he would she get mad when he didn't do what she wanted him to do, and so she would then, put out rumors and like try to expose, and it's caused all kinds of strife, and she just really toxic, and then wonder why she doesn't get along with none of the baby daddies. Let's just see if this thing will play. Oh shit! Damn it! Hold on, y'all. I took the volume off of this damn thing.
Different for me because I'd never seen you. You seemed really
And I
sure.
want to, but it's I also have this
Hold
like
on, I'm gonna
internal conflict
restart it.
about the fact that I was married
Hold on, I'm gonna restart it. So what you hear the whole thing. It's only 54 seconds long.
on some days I'm like, yes, like Elijah and I are gonna get married.
Yeah, I
He
remember you told me that you guys were gonna like do the whole court. Remember we had
yeah.
dinner and you were like all for it, and it was different for me because I'd never seen you. You seemed really
And I
sure.
want to, but it's I also have this like internal conflict about the fact that I was married before and I made those commitments.
Here's the thing. V, I give you credit, sis. I gotta give it. Shout out to V. Shout out to V. V does a good job of compartmentalizing because this woman just recently talked so much shit on her husband and questioned, pretty much questioned if V was even attracted to her husband. And the fact that she could continue to work with this woman and come across to us as if she likes this woman. And I think V is just a good businesswoman. She knows that Kel comes with a lot of clout, and it's better to have her as a frenemy than an enemy. And so the fact that V was able to forgive her is big of her, because if she talked about my husband the way this woman did and called him ugly, essentially, no fucking way. And in regards to her considering marrying Elijah, she don't need to get married to Elijah. Elijah, I'm sure he's a nice, nice man, but he brings nothing to the table, nothing of validity. He occasionally, from what I've read about him, this is on ping.com, it may not be true or not, but I think it is. He's a construction worker that sometimes pours concrete. They don't make a lot of money, not discrediting what he does. I'm glad he has a job. But anyway, and then at nighttime it said he sings R&B. So he's probably trying to be an artist, and good luck with that. But my whole thing is, what is the benefits of you marrying this man? You're still paying all the bills. She said his check helps with like little things, like maybe some groceries, and maybe I don't even think his checks cover utility, because Kel bought herself, I think, a mansion. And so it costs a lot to, light that shit and heat that shit. So I don't know if his little checks are covering that or not. But She don't need to marry anyone. She needs to marry herself to therapy. She needs to go to therapy and figure out why does she continue to have babies after babies to strangers.
And I made those vows and I did not follow through. And it's,
Mhm.
again, to your point, like, why
Oh, we know why you didn't follow through, honey. She got some new dick and kicked Javi to the side and was talking shit to Javi. Was like, I don't want the kid, honey. Chris didn't want you. And soon, you got Javi out the way. Chris started playing you and dragging you along, dragging you by your edges, and you kept chasing and kept having babies, thinking that that's going to keep that man. And she still hasn't learned to this day that babies don't keep men. And why are you having babies to this man, Elijah, already? And what do you? Here's my thing. She is over 30. She's 32 years old. He is 25 years old. What do you have in common with him? He has no real life experience. He had no real life experience. He didn't have any other children. Her children are his first children. I just think she was just trying to lock him in and she just wants control. What would a woman of over 30 want with a 25-year-old with no, especially a woman of over 30 with as many children as she had? Minus his three, she had four kids by three different men. So why would you add any more confusion to your children? And she moved him in immediately. And honestly, I think she's just like a lot of women with a lot of kids. She just wants a warm body in the bed. Just wants because it's not like she needs help. She has nannies. And speaking of which, of nannies, honey. So I was watching the Grace report, and apparently her nanny that she's had for years, that was watching the other two kids, she's apparently getting another nanny to watch exclusively her twins. And I don't know if this pissed the nanny off and they had a disagreement about it and may feel like she's taking away from her money. I don't know. So anyway, the nanny called her a bad mom on her Instagram. And the nanny signed an NDA, I'm sure, because Kel makes everybody who's associated with her sign an NDA. And the nanny was just like real discreet, but she called her a bad mom. And so I'm wondering if the nanny's going to break the NDA and give us some what am I thinking about? And give us some tea on Kail. Where I'm looking forward to seeing this because according to the nanny, she's a trifling mom, and now she's getting another nanny. This is why she keeps having babies because she's making a lot of money, and so she's like, well, I can keep getting pregnant, having more babies. I'll just buy more nannies. But the thing is, Kel, you're pulling more and more from your resources, and you need to start putting away for potentially if these kids want to go to college, and you have now seven kids to support through college, and the yeah, you might get some help from Javi, you might get some help from Joe, but Chris ain't got no money, and Elijah damn sure ain't got no fucking money to pay for college. So that's gonna be all on you. And the bulk of your kids are to the bums. You got two to Chris, and you got now three to Elijah. You're really like not making good decisions. So no, you should not be thinking about marriage.
are we getting married if divorce is an option and it's in the back of our mind?
When you think about that,
She's you see how immature she sounds. Why should we get married if divorce is in the back of our minds? Divorce is in the back of your mind because these men that you date bring nothing to the table, ma'am. And you know that you have to protect your finances. And so, being the longer you're married, the more you're gonna have to pay. Because Javi's little bum ass tried to get you for child support. Remember that? And you didn't like that very much. And I think she might even be still paying child support to him and his bum ass. So my whole thing is you should not be thinking about marriage. You should be thinking about the future of these kids and how you're going to support them because you are the breadwinner of all the baby daddies and the kids are with you and that falls solely on you. That shouldn't even be a priority. Marrying a 32-year-old woman, marrying a 25-year-old man that she has not even known longer than 2 years. You were pregnant by him within 8 months of dating. Like come on.
it really bothers you because you feel like I didn't take those vows seriously, or you like feel like
And she's still not taking the vow seriously. So if you're thinking about getting married, then why are you thinking about divorce? Because you're not taking the vow seriously. There's no need for this woman to get married. She is toxic. She's already, it's been said, fighting with Elijah's family. You don't even get along with his family. And that's because they see what's happening. She's probably controlling him. Because what would a 32-year-old want with a 25-year-old other than control? Because she has more life experience and she has the money, so she wants to control him. And I'm sure she controls him. And I know the family probably has something to say about that.
You guys failed each other? Like, is it something like that? Because I feel like I would probably feel that way. Like,
Yes.
damn, we really failed each other. Like, we could have probably made it work or
Yes.
something.
Listen, her and Javi were just toxic. She was getting physical with him. This is her last marriage. She do not need to marry anybody. She's not marriage material. She's immature. And then when the men don't do what she wants them to do, she gets spiteful and she goes after them financially and she goes after their time with their kids and tries to do parental alienation, causes drama. She's doing it right now. And Elijah's, because he's so immature, he if he did his research, he wouldn't impregnate this woman. Just given her track record with men, she has tortured every single baby daddy that left her and didn't want anything to do with her. She has slandered and been like interfering in Javi's relationship prior to Elijah. She was um, telling on Javi that he was, making advances after her, and I don't doubt that they slept together just to be spiteful towards the girl Lauren. And so, you know, she was still trying to get with Chris all the way up until she was get with Elijah because she was really emotionally invested in that and trying to get with him. And if Chris wanted her, she would be with Chris. I don't think she loves Elijah. I think she just tolerates Elijah and needed somebody there because she didn't want to be alone. But because Chris didn't want her and wasn't willing to, do what she wanted him to do. And she's very, very, very controlling. Like she went as far as to attack Chris because he cut his son's hair. Never mind the fact that all the children to the other baby dad's kids get haircuts. And he said that she wasn't maintaining his hair. So that's why he cut his hair. And so she got so like 'cause she's so controlling and wants so control of the situation, she physically attacked him, and that's when he called the police on her. She is very violent, and she needs to work on those things. She needs to work on her anger. She needs to work on why she keeps continuing to get pregnant by bums. Like she needs to go to therapy. She needs intensive individual therapy.